How is it going, folks, and Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. We are back here to start season number 5 at Rugby Town today. Try and find a defensive midfielder and, well, kick off the season where we're taking Fleetwood Town on, who start on negative 10 points. More on that shortly, but before we get into things today, I do just want to say I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I appreciate Christmas for everyone isn't the best of times, and so I hope that with this video today, it can perhaps provide a little bit of a distraction or just add on top of what may already be a really nice day for you. If you're having a lovely time with your family, maybe you're choosing to watch this video instead of watching the King's Speech if you're in the UK. Just a reminder as well, there is no episode tomorrow, but we will be back Wednesday onwards with your scheduled Parks to Prem viewing. And well, today we kick things off against Fleetwood Town, who, if you've not watched the transfer specials, firstly, you're missing out massively. This team have gone into administration, scrapped their youth setup, sold all their facilities, made some money. They still have £23 million of debt. They currently have a first team that has 2 players over the age of 20, both on £20 a week. And perhaps unsurprisingly, they are favourites for relegation. We are favourites for promotion. So, yeah, it could be an interesting game, this one. On top of that, we have also got a Chester away day to look forward to, and we are also going to do the game against AFC Telford. Today's video is going to be a longer one. I hope that's fine with you guys. I feel like no one ever complains about videos being too long here. Otherwise, they would have complained on yesterday's video, which I considered the nightmare before Christmas, that last transfer special. Today, it's going to be the Christmas miracle, where hopefully we find a player. That would be nice. We have signed 1 player so far in this transfer window. The season starts today. Let's run the intro and get straight into that game against Fleetwood Town, shall we? Normally, to kick off a new season, I do quickly recap the new signings that were made over the summer period. I suppose we can talk about a few of those players. The only one in the starting 11 for today's game is Bradley Edwards, a young player released by Liverpool, loads of good current ability, little bit of potential as well, but mega inconsistent. May have not even started this game if it wasn't for the fact that Isaac Pritchard, who didn't miss a game entirely through last season, well, he got injured to start this season. So his record of games played in a row, it's gone. Over on the bench, of course, Sean Stewart, who joined us at the tail end of last year, is an option at centre-back. And elsewhere, in terms of the other new signings, Batumba, Jamie Stevenson, backup right-back and left-back, they don't even make the bench. The rest of the team, it looks very, very familiar to last year's team. Anyway, this game against Fleetwood Town should be a straightforward one. Will it be a straightforward one? We will find out together. Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. If we don't win this game, I feel like we don't deserve to get promoted. That is kind of the mindset I'm taking. They've got 2 players over the age of 20. They've basically got a youth team playing this match. And just as a reminder, they did enter administration, so they start the season on minus 10 points. Although, if they draw here, they'll go on to minus 9. Not going to lie, kind of thought the floodgates would open early on in this game. We're almost half an hour in. There's not been a highlight. Okay, and Goma, free kicks. These have flown in previous years. Will this one fly in? It hits the woodwork. Slate heads it goalwards, but the ball nestles on the roof of the net. It's over the bar. Okay, well, we waited 34 minutes for the first highlight. We've now got our second highlight in the 35th minute. They are playing a three at the back system, so I feel like they are going to be difficult to, well, find a way through. Fleetwood yet to have a shot in this game, but they are whipping the ball into the box. That scares me slightly, and whilst we've dealt with the initial ball, they do still have possession here. And Goma, good tackle, but the ball being whipped back post. Ricky D, half away from danger. Freckleton down to Edwards, the new signing, Mr. Inconsistent, they call him. He dinks it to Abbas. What a ball that is. Abbas, one-on-one. Shot ripples the side netting. Maybe I should have sold him for £500,000 last episode. I say that. I wanted to sell him for that £500,000. He turned down that move. And if you're sat thinking, I don't know what you're talking about, Jack, you should have watched last episode. It was a banger. I also appreciate, and I'm saying this quite far into the first game, I realise, many people come across the channel on Christmas Day having got the game for Christmas. If you're here having never watched this series before, I'm impressed you've made it this far into the video. Go watch the rest of the series. I promise it's one hell of an adventure here at Rugby Town. And well, we are looking for a 4th promotion in a row this year. That is very much the aim. What I've seen in this game makes me question, is that at all reasonable to expect? Because we have been subpar here, although we are on the attack. It's Slate at left back, inside to Moon, the man who I'm maybe trying to sell because he was being a pain in the butt last time. Ball dinked, Abbas should finish it, does finish it. It's offside. It's not going to count. I can see the linesman on the far side, and apparently none of the players can. Corner, Edwards. New signing, whipping it in, back post. Welch is there, and Welch is going to find the back of the net. That man, 6'6", 16 jumping reach. He should be a set-piece weapon for us. Showed that a little bit last year with a handful of goals. Also takes out penalties. Make of that what you will. Good header by him there. Corner for us here, and Goma over it. There's been a flurry of chances, it feels like, to end the half. Welch is back post again, and, well, I'm getting deja vu. He's got 2 goals for the season. It's a shame they can't defend set pieces here at Fleetwood. Sometimes I'd feel guilty scoring 2 goals like this, but you know what? When they're playing as defensive as they are, nah, screw them. Deserve it. Don't care. 2-0. Don't care if we're set piece merchants. We're up at the break. I'm very happy. Kind of relieved. We have dominated the ball in this game, 57% of possession. They've had 2 shots. Both have actually come at the start of this half. I don't know if that is a warning sign being kind of waved in our direction. Something to maybe keep an eye on. If we do get a 3rd goal, I feel like at that point I can relax. You know, the stress levels do drop. I feel like first game of the season, doesn't matter who you're playing. You want to see all your hard work come together. And, well, you want to see Hull Chuddy scoring from there. His shot nearly went out for a throw-in. We've had a lot of the ball, and to be fair, we are knocking the ball around with some confidence and swagger. I just want to see a little bit of end product from open play, you know? Set pieces, great to score, but bread and butter is open play. That goal there calms the nerves. It's 3-0. Abbas bags his first of the season. The man who we nearly sold for £500,000, and if, well, that bid came in again, I'd probably accept it. He puts us ahead in this one. He was predicted by the media to be the top goal scorer in this league this year. It's not a bad way to start the season. Oh, okay. I was just making subs, and they've scored. They've scored whilst I was making subs. They've literally scored from kickoff. How did this go in? So they have the kickoff, they go long, they knock it around a little bit, and then Lewington tucks it away. Well, that's, you know what? Moral of the story, pause the game before you make your subs. Gonna bring in Callum Goldsmith for Hamilton. Hamilton didn't exactly have an amazing game today, so maybe a little bit of a cause for concern, although we've got some good strikers in our ranks. Hull Chuddy's not been amazing either. I'm going to bring in Sam Kelly. We'll hold on to our last sub for now. I was at one point going to bring in Sean Stewart. Having just conceded, I'm having second thoughts. Edwards over, a free kick in the wide area, whip it in, Freckleton under it, cleared away, but Abbas, well, going to mop up the pieces. Plenty of players in the middle, decides to not pass it to any of them, and now he's got sent off, hasn't he? The player is really rolling around, and Abbas has been given a red card. Brilliant. Merry Christmas to me. Thank you, Adam Abbas. You're a pain in the arse, mate. I am just going to switch to a 4-1-2-1-1. Doesn't sound like a real formation when you say it like that, but that's what I'm going to go with. We should just be able to see out this game. Why have Fleetwood got a free kick? Why? I don't like this. I don't like this. Lewington's over it. He's already scored one. He dinks it in. Slate, Goldsmith. Get it away from danger, lads. Sands with the ball for them. Milner Evans could pull the trigger. Does pull the trigger. Simpkins saves it. Relax. Whew, I'm fine. Edwards with the ball through the middle for us. Lays it to Goldsmith. He's going to shoot again from range. That is a hospital pass of a shot. It's a P-roller along the floor. It's ended up in the back of the net. Edwards lays the ball inside. Goldsmith hits it on his weaker foot. You can tell it was on his weaker foot. I don't know what their goalkeeper's doing. Not going to complain. Couple of minutes left in this game. Full time here. 4-1. Abbas, red card. I don't really love, but it's fine. We've got a win. I'm going to take that as the positive. I told the players that performance was unacceptable. We just played against a bunch of children, and some of them are uncertain and unhappy. Don't care. I don't have any Christmas spirit in me. I'm not even recording this video on Christmas. I don't have to be nice to them. I mean, at least Welch got man of the match. Welch, you played well. You were good, Reese. Love Reese. And in some other news, Carl Jones continuing the trend of last episode where we're just selling players who I don't think are very good. This man is leaving the building, signed on a free transfer, played 5 games. I'm now giving him away on a free 2. Has to be said, our youth team is now looking like an actual proper youth team, which is nice. We had 33 players plus, I think, during the summer. It's now down to 22. And actually, our first team is in a similar kind of spot. We only have 22 players in the first team, so considering I normally like to have 25 players, we are maybe a little bit short on talent. I would still like to get in at least 1 new defensive midfielder and maybe 1 depth centre mid. I feel like they're the 2 areas of the pitch we're really lacking in. The pressure building on the space in Pritchard drama. He is still trying to force a new contract through. I love the fact he asked for a new contract after getting injured. I mean, he's still out for 4 weeks. He's on £50 a week for the next, 24 months. Don't think I need to worry about it yet. I know that we've got a couple of players a bit unhappy. Pritchard, one player. I know Moon as well was a bit unhappy about the fact he wanted a new contract. The reality is, when you look at the players' overall happiness, the majority of the players in the squad are happy campers. I am, between matches here, going to keep an eye open for any potential signings. But, of course, we spent a very long time last episode trying to sign some players, and there wasn't really anyone who jumped out at me. I don't know if I'm being a bit ambitious expecting suddenly some really good players to become available super soon, but yeah, I don't know. We'll keep our eye open if anything comes about. I have also seen some comments about, should I request going pro? We've got a load of money and I could potentially do that, but I'm willing to have one more season being semi-pro. The reason for that being, to be honest, is the fact that if we go professional, I'm going to have to offer a load of new contracts to our current first team squad, which means they'll all expect wage increases anyway, and it will cost us a lot of money to go pro. On top of that, we only have, I was about to say we only have one. No, we only have 2 contracts expiring at the end of the current season. So the reality is, if I was to have to go out and offer a load of players professional deals, all those players have at least 2 years left on their current deal. It just doesn't really make sense. And whilst there are benefits to going pro, like, proper training setups, full-time training schedules, in order for those to take effect, players do actually have to sign new full-time deals, which it just feels like an unnecessary expense at the moment. I feel like we should be able to get out of this division without needing to do that. Good news, everyone. Ricky D no longer wants to leave the club. Thought he might force a move at one point because there was some interest in him from some rather large teams, including Premier League Blackburn Rovers, who apparently are sniffing around and looking at him. He's not for sale, they can do one. Middlesbrough have made a bid for A-Hole Chuddy. You know the deal. This is just continuing on from last episode. 150k, and they can have him. If they don't want to pay it, he's not going to them. Robert Seymour has decided to turn down a load of moves and opt to stay with us. I don't want him here. He's too old for the youth team. I'm just going to give him £1,000 to piss off. And in some other news, Javane McCulloch, who is a good player with some potential for us, but he's too old for the under-18s, he's going to go out on loan. He's only on £20 a week. The vast majority of that is going to be covered. Can I just say, look at our under-18 training ratings. I need to go and give them all some individual praise. I feel like this is the equivalent of Jeff Bezos turning up at one of the small packing facilities in the middle of nowhere and just praising everyone. I reckon that's how all the youth players feel when I turn up. It's like, the big boss is in town. Yeah, I am. I'm here to praise you all. You've all been training superbly. I'm also doing this because I want to be in their favoured personnel for when they break into the first team, because that will mean that they're more likely to want to stay and not force moves, which, when you're dealing with some players that might have some serious potential, it feels like good planning for the future. I am continuing to look at some of the defensive midfielders with contract status expired that I have got scouted. I am still thinking about Rio Shipston as well. Rio, do you want to chat? Doesn't want to chat. Do you want to come on trial? I feel like I've just been going back to the same 4 players when it comes to defensive midfielder options. There's just a few players that stand out to me. He doesn't want to come on trial. I think that might be about the 5th time he's rejected a trial offer. If I was him, I'd probably be considering a restraining order on me. Portsmouth have made a bid for Hull Chuddy. Potential value, £78,000. I have noticed here, Hull Chuddy's transfer value has now shot up as well. It used to be like £3,000, you might remember. It's now up at £26,000, so I'm going to be cheeky. You know the deal. £150,000. Not going to sell him. The worst thing of all is they might make a bid of £150,000, and I don't even know if I'd feel like selling him right now, because we're a little bit short on centre mids as it is, and whilst he does lack technically, he's a mentally smart footballer, and his physicals aren't too shabby either. And on top of that, and I don't know if this is just a me thing, I kind of just assume that if a player is wanted by teams in the Championship and Premier League, League One, and I'm in the National League, that probably means they've got some potential and I should be keeping hold of them. That's how my brain works anyway. 'Tis the season to offer trials, fa la 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 la. I shouldn't sing. I should not sing. Look, I'm offering a load of defensive midfielders who were higher on kind of the rankings by world reputation trials, just to see if any of them are any good. I am still just looking at these centre mid options through the lens of, would any of them be good squad players? Hiram Boateng, I feel like, used to have really high potential back in the day when he was a Crystal Palace youngster. I feel like there was one Football Manager where he was absolutely mad. Connor Coventry isn't a terrible option either if I am looking for that versatile backup centre mid option. He is actually probably a little bit better, and he's quite good defensively. Could he do a job as your defensive midfielder? I feel like at this point I'm looking for 11s and above, so when I look at the technicals and see 9s and 10s, I'm a little bit put off, but he does have a cap for the Irish national team. Was previously playing for Stevenage in League 2. Did play 11 games in the Premier League for West Ham in 23-24. No idea what was happening to West Ham then. He's super consistent and likes important matches, wants to be a fringe player. He wants an appearance fee of £1,100. I'm going to try, and this is being very ambitious, I'm going to try and get him on £400 and lower this stuff, but I know for a fact, well, I was going to say I know for a fact he's going to want more money than that. Turns out I'm massively wrong. I don't hate this deal at all. I don't know if I'd start Connor Coventry over to Freckleton, but I don't know, it could be food for thought. Could be a good stopgap option in that defensive mid position. Another youth player of ours who's too old for our under-18s, but might be useful down the line, is Declan Quinn. He's currently got 3 years left on his current deal. Going to get a loan spell playing for Lewis FC of all teams. A team I've managed in Football Manager. Original viewers, long-term viewers of the channel will remember. They currently play in the Isthmian Premier League division. I actually feel like he should get a decent amount of goals for them at that level, especially with his finishing and his not too bad acceleration. Portsmouth have just made a bid for Ricky D. It was not a good offer. I've rejected it. And elsewhere, Connor Coventry has agreed to join us. £400 a week for this guy on a 2-year deal. I don't feel like he's the most flashy player. He is a player who I half had my eye on during the transfer special, but I felt like we could do better than. But actually, upon reflection, knowing that we do need a versatile centre mid, I feel like he ticks that box really well. Apparently, he has potential to be a Sky Bet League One player. It's just a shame he's 27. That said, I do feel like he's better than Gucci, and for that reason, I was going to say I'm going to start him on the bench. You know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to drop Freckleton from the starting 11 for this next game. I'm going to go with Coventry to make his debut in this game, having joined the team, well, an hour before kickoff. What could go wrong? Our next opposition, by the way, are Chester. Now, they are a team we've not done an away day for, so I think you know what's about to happen here. They opened up their season with a win 2-0 over Dagenham and Redbridge. Media prediction of 18th, a team that we should be beating. Let's head to the Devon Stadium, which, I'll tell you what, from this pitch, it does look rather impressive, doesn't it? So for today's away day, we are heading northwest. And if I'm not mistaken, Chester had a bit of drama about them because they play right on the border, I believe, between England and Wales. In fact, I think their stadium is literally like half in Wales. I remember there being some issues with regards to their stadium, I think during the pandemic, where the rules in Wales for isolating were different to the rules in England. So yeah, if we find the border, the team should be somewhere on it. So here is Chester, by the way, south of Liverpool, and here is the border for England and Wales. Here is the England-Wales border, and you can see here why this football stadium has an issue. Yeah, it is literally in Wales, but the front door is still in England. You think I'm joking? No, genuinely, that dash line there is the border. The car park is in England, the pitch is in Wales. We're playing in two places at once. What footage do we have here? Okay, that's concerning. I mean, whilst it's concerning, at least the Street View van did go down and look at the car park. I will say now, the lack of painted lines is upsetting me slightly, although no shortage of car parking. And I do like it when a football stadium actually labels their stadium. I know that might be a really small, minor thing, but I do feel like compared to some stadiums you see where you don't have any text on it and it's just kind of a corrugated metal back, it just, you know, it gives it a bit of personality. We're in England here. We can go across the border. Here is the back of the stadium, by the way, the South Stand. Not sure who that text is for, but at least it's there for us right now. And we are now in Wales. Wales, England. Wales, England. I should stop doing this. Find it interesting that in Football Manager, the stadium is listed as being in England. I mean, is it in England? The front door's in England. If I want to send post to Chester's football stadium, is it an English address or a Welsh address? That's probably the way to answer that question. Oh, I'll tell you what, Google Earth coming in clutch. We can have a look at the stadium in 3D, and I'll be honest, it's a pretty cute little stadium, isn't it? There's actually loads of room for expansion. You know, if Chester want to get to the Premier League, they've got space to build a Premier League ground here. Car park, well, I've seen better. It does look like, from this more recent kind of satellite footage, they have painted lines. It's a shame the Google Street View didn't reflect that. A little bit disappointed there wasn't more footage of the inside of the stadium, but it's a stadium that exists in two countries at once. And for that reason and that reason alone, like, that gets you an extra bonus point, doesn't it? Car parking wasn't terrible. You know, it's been painted in the future, even if we couldn't see that with the Street View. And I mean, it had seats on most of the stands. So I feel like that gives it some points as well. Big fan, Devon Stadium. The English bit, the car park, 6 out of 10. The Welsh bit, 7 out of 10. So we'll call it a 6.5. Okay, away day done. Let's get into game number 2 of 3 today. Chester away. Like I said, this is the kind of game that I feel like we should be winning, but we weren't overly convincing against Fleetwood. Maybe the new addition of Coventry is all that is needed. He is going to come in and slot in as a defensive midfielder on defend. I do feel like this is a role that suits him really well. While we're here, we probably should put a focus on his strength, really, shouldn't we? 8 strength for a defensive midfielder. Get him on the weights. Besides his addition, of course, Addons is also suspended because he was a naughty boy last game, so we are without what last year was our top goal scorer. It does mean that Sam Pitt is going to come into the team, 19 years old, largely unproven. I gave him a couple of games at the end of last year just to see what he could do. Did grab a goal in the Vanarama National North. According to our staff, he should be a good player for this level. There was maybe a temptation to play Goldsmith in this game, but he is still coming back from a little bit of a knock, and whilst a fitness test wasn't required, decided it wasn't maybe the game to bring him back for. On top of that, he is left-footed, and alongside Hamilton, who is also left-footed, it just didn't really make sense. So Pitt, you are my go-to Abbas replacement. Please show me that you're good enough to do this role for us this year, because you are a little bit unproven. So Chester did win their first game of the year with a clean sheet. They are playing a slightly more attacking 4-3-3. They've got a Heskey up front. I assume it's not Emil Heskey. Does Emil Heskey have children? No, I mean, he does. Oh my God, it's Emil Heskey's son. I kind of love that. Right, they've got a mini Heskey to worry about. That is, I'm scared now. Wasn't worried about that game until I've noticed this. Okay, well, we're half an hour into this game. There's been 2 shots on target, 1 for either team, although we could have a chance here. Oh, I thought it was going to be a really nicely worked goal. Slate's effort is saved wide. Finally, a chance. It was actually a really nicely worked set piece too. Coventry is going to be over this corner. He is going to whip it in on his right foot. Pitt, back post. Welch was back post as well. Won his header. Scored 2 goals last game. Couldn't add to his tally there. That said, another corner, other side, in front of the gazebos. We love to see that. Can we get it into the middle? We can. And on this occasion, Welch hits the crossbar. I mean, maybe this man maybe he can be the new... I was going to say Jake Cartwright. I don't know if we can really talk about replacing Cartwright yet, but maybe he could be the new Cartwright. He's looking like a weapon so far in these first 2 games. I will also acknowledge I incorrectly referred to the food stalls as gazebos. Hardcore Park to Prem fans will be outraged by that. Anyway, those flurry of chances from the set pieces, all that's really happened in this game, it is 0-0. I suppose away from home, I should have expected a tough game. That said, not been overly impressed by us going forward. Sam Pitt on a 6.5. Only good silver lining in all of this is our 2 centre-backs, Moon and Welch, both on 7.0. So defensively, we are looking solid. Okay, they've got a corner of their own. It's in the same corner where we had one of our chances, and a penalty's been given. Ricky D has pushed Easton. Ricky D, what are you doing? Okay, Simkin in goal. Just saying, mate, if you could save here, that would be good. It's a penalty for them against runner play. Denholm's going to take it. Denholm's going to score it. We are a goal down. I was always concerned that Ricky D might be a nutcase because in his debut last year in a pre-season friendly, he got a red card. Didn't show any madness moments last year. That was a madness moment there. I was about to make some subs and then a highlight began. The ball's whipped in. Pitt's there. I was about to take Sam Pitt off. I don't want to admit I was about to sub him off the Goldsmith, but... I've said it now. I was going to take him off. We've scored a corner. I don't really like the idea of us being corner merchants, but if it's what we need to do to grind out results, we'll do it. It's 1-1. So I was about to take off Pitt. I think in reaction to the fact he's just scored, I'm going to bring in Goldsmith for Hamilton, who is now 2 league games into the year without a goal. I'm not going to panic just yet, but... I don't know. I mean, it was always going to be tough, wasn't it, for him to match his 22 goals last season, but he didn't impress me last game. He's been a bit disappointing in this one. Elsewhere, A-Hole Chuddy's not been particularly great. I'm going to bring in Gucci at box-to-box midfielder. 2 subs made. I'm also going to get shouty. Let's demand more from the players. We've got 23 minutes left here. It's still 1-1. We have been the better team, but we need to find a breakthrough. And Goma got 1 assist already in this game from that corner. Not going to get an assist here. And that was a chance. Slate with another opportunity falling his way. This time he hits the post. Ngoma corner. It's the short corner routine. Edwards, Coventry, fouled. It's a penalty. It's the second penalty of the game. Apparently that was a dubious decision. Well, it's a good job there isn't VAR at this level. The man who's going to step up here is Ngoma. What can you do? He steps up, left foot, keeper wrong way. It's 2-1. So far in these 2 opening games of the year, we've not been convincing, but touch wood, we are grinding out wins, and that's what you have to do to win titles. I say grinding out wins. Still 10 minutes left here. They've got a corner here. Is this division just all about the set pieces? It feels like that's where everything's happening. The ball's whipped in. We kind of half deal with it. Denholm, though, with the ball in a wide area. Their man's cutting inside. And their man's finding the back of the net. It's 2-2. They probably deserve that. I say they probably deserve. They don't deserve that. They don't. It's their 3rd shot on target of the game. But then again, I feel dirty about the fact we scored a penalty and a corner. Slate dealt with it initially. We didn't then deal with the secondary ball. And the taker, Alayinka, definitely not said that name correctly. He's found the bottom corner. I've got 1 sub left. There's not long left in this game. There is a real temptation to go back to the old free striker system and bring in Joe Richards. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that. Joe Richards is our 5th choice striker. He's been lurking in the shadows, waiting for his time to make his live commentary debut. I feel like today's the day to bring him on. I feel like this is a free striker kind of day. I'm going to play Pitt through the middle, Goldsmith and Richards either side, and we're going back to our Season 1 tactic because I'm desperate for a goal with 5 minutes left. Been a while since the free striker formation was played. I think the last time we played it, we bottled a game that we were even in. Let's hope the history doesn't repeat itself, although Olayinka is going to shoot from range. He hits the woodwork. He already had 1 goal. We knew he was going to be dangerous. Well, I feel like we've just been let off the hook a little bit here, but we might not be off the hook yet. Are we back in the sea? Have we got off the fishing line? The answer, I think, is yes, as Ngoma brings it away and the highlight ends. 5 minutes of added time. Is there to be a late twist? The answer is no. It finishes here 2-2. I do feel like we were the better team in this game, but again, we were not very threatening from open play. Their goalkeeper did get a 7.1 rating. Our centre-backs played well, and Ngoma played well. I mean, I say he played well. He got a goal and an assist. The goal was from the penalty spot. The assist was from a corner. Make of that what you will. You were unlucky today. I'm gonna tell the players that. Do I feel like we were unlucky? Not really. I don't think we were very good. So our 3rd and final game today is against Telford United. Media prediction of 10th, but they've lost their opening 2 games of the season. I feel like this is a game we should be winning. Let's see if we can keep the unbeaten start going. And, well, you can see, looking at things here, there are only 4 teams that won their opening 2 games of the year. At this level, teams drop a lot of points. Last year's champions lost 10 games of 46. So we don't need to panic just yet. Although maybe I should be worried that Rochdale, who are our big rivals for promotion this year, are still unbeaten. And they've had some tricky games they've won. Yeah, I do fear Rochdale. Middlesbrough just made a bid of £41,000 for Ahol Chuddy. I don't know how many times we've said that in this kind of series so far. £150,000, please. Then you can have him. They don't want to bid it. Reject. I'm not sure why I've decided £150,000 is the amount they have to bid, but I feel like I've reaffirmed that so many times now that if I was to get that bid and reject it, it'd almost be dishonest of me. Shout out to the board, by the way. They've just granted me my new coaching course to get a Continental A licence. It's going to take 12 months. Our actual manager attributes are starting to look almost impressive. It's kind of crazy, actually, that we're getting a Continental A licence already, but I mean, sometimes these say games, the board would never grant these requests. This year, they just want me to take every course I can. I feel like they've been more supportive of my education in football than my parents ever were with my real life education, which is kind of crazy. Apparently, they want to reopen talks with Shipston. Shipston's agent, Heidi Newton. Heidi has seen some crap. Heidi, are you okay? Is Heidi okay? Apparently we can reopen chats. Right, Shipston, I do want to sign you. He's now asking to be a fringe player instead of a starter. And he's now asking for peanuts. I've spent the last, however many months it's been lusting over this guy, haven't I? Desperately wanting to sign him. And he wouldn't join me. And now suddenly I think I'm going to be able to sign him for like £300 a week, maybe even cheaper. Football Manager's weird, isn't it? I've literally spent, how many times did I go in for Shipston and he wanted £2,000? And now because it's just a couple of weeks into the season, he wants a few hundred? I'm not going to complain, but it's a bit weird. It does make me wonder. Nico Lawrence, do you want to chat? You're asking for £4,000. Have you changed your demands yet? The fact he wants star player makes me think he hasn't. I mean, we might as well just throw him an offer. He's here on trial for another 4 weeks. He has lowered it to 3,000. I'll come back in a few more weeks, Nico. I'll tell you what, if we were to pick up Shipston, he would be such a good pickup. I know we have just signed Coventry, who's not a bad player by any means, but compared to Shipston just makes him look like a child. AFC Telford have made a bid. for Shipston. I'm going to offer him some more money here. Shipston, I really want to sign you. I'll give you £450. No, you know what? £500 a week. We can offer some of the big bucks, and I'll give you a £20,000 signing on fee, and Heidi, your lovely agent, can have a load of money too. I will be annoyed now if he doesn't sign for us, just so you all know. Especially if he signs for Telford, who we play in 3 days before the match against them, and I have to play against him. That would be particularly annoying. Portsmouth have made a non-negotiable bid of £20,000 for Ricky D. Absolutely not. I don't know if it's good or bad news, but we're at the day of the Telford game and Shipston has not yet made a decision. So the good news is we don't have to play against him. The bad news is he won't be playing for us. So for today's third and final game, we are going to go with what I think, at least right now, is our full strength 11. That does mean that Coventry, albeit as a bit of a stopgap option, is going to be playing at defensive midfielder. Addons is back in the team after his sending off. And despite the fact he hasn't scored in the first 2 games of the season, I'm looking at Stormin Norman and I'm thinking he will get goals eventually. We just got to show some faith in him. If you were wondering about Pritchard, not ready for a fitness test. So for a 3rd game in a row, not in the match squad. Okay, Telford are lining up in a 4-4-2 shape. I feel like sometimes against 4-4-2s, we're really good at just completely dominating the middle of the pitch in a way whereby the team just can't build up play. On the other hand, if teams opt to play wide, get their fullbacks up the pitch and on the overlap, can sometimes cause us some issues. Ball's going to be whipped in here. Set pieces have been a bit of a kryptonite for us when defending them. And we've conceded one inside 20 minutes. Turns out we're absolutely amazing at scoring from set pieces. We just have absolutely no idea how to defend them. Vaughan, unmarked, edge of the box. Good finish, bottom corner. Don't think the goalkeeper can be blamed there. That was, by the way, their first and only shot on target of the game. It's been a very, very even game when it comes to possession, 50-50. So far, it's not been smooth sailing, has it, in the National League? Although we knew this was going to be difficult. Time for a test of character. Can we come back? Edwards, Abbas tucks it away. That is a lovely, lovely goal. Bradley Edwards, the world's most inconsistent playmaker who was released by Liverpool, he's come in. He's trying to really stake his claim for that starting spot as the advanced playmaker with Pritchard out. And it is a nice assist for him. It was a really good ball into the box. Okay, coming up to just over half an hour played. Only 15 minutes left of the half. Watt wide to Crowhouse. He's going to pull the trigger. Simkin stinging his fingertips as he tips it over. We do still have a corner to deal with here. We conceded from one of these already. The goal scorer Vaughan is taking this one. On this occasion, Simkin collects. Slate with a throw-in on the near side. Short to Ngoma. Back to Slate. Edwards. Nice build-up play here. Chol hoodie. It was in the Chol hoodie. Chol hoodie. Whole chuddy. It's the whole choddy zone. Actually, it was just outside his zone. Chol hoodie. I promise I've not been drinking Bucks Fizz all morning for the Christmas special. I just can't speak. Ngoma, back post. Welch. Goal number 3 of the season in 3. We have a new centre-back set-piece weapon. Last year, he wasn't as productive as this from set pieces, and I kind of just put it down to the fact that at this level, players can actually jump. At least to start this year, he is turning into a weapon. I feel like in the lower leagues, when you have a player who's almost 200 centimetres tall, that's about 6'6", and he has 16 jumping reach with some decent heading, you expect to see lots of set-piece goals. I feel like they're starting to arrive now. So we are a goal to the good in this game. We probably do deserve that on the balance of play. We've had over twice as many shots as them. We did get a little bit more possession as well as the half went on. Going to tell the players that I'm delighted with the performance. I'm going to give them some Christmas cheer. Norman Hamilton's still not playing well, though. Free kick, or rather I should say corner, short, Coventry. I promise I do watch football. I do know the difference between a corner and a free kick. Ngoma goes down in a heap. Thought for a second we might get a penalty. It's not given. Ricky D is over it. The right back gives it to Coventry, to Edwards, to Hamilton. The little intricate one-touch passing play was lovely. Sadly, didn't amount to anything. But we've got the ball back, and it's Slate. Or should I say Slay? You know, we can really make this into a Christmas-themed episode. He gives it to Whole Chuddy. Whole Chuddy, Coventry, Hamilton, Coventry, shoots! Forces a save out the keeper. I thought that save was the highlight. Apparently that wasn't the highlight. It's a long Football Manager highlight. It's now Whole Chuddy with it. I feel like the longer the highlights go on, the more the chance of a goal increases. Abbas, Hamilton, turns his man, and I thought he was going to tuck it away sensationally. It's whiskers wide of the post. 10 minutes played of this second half. I am going to make an early change. Whole Chuddy, not particularly been inspired by him. I'm going to bring in Kelly. He's going to come in and, of course, play as a Mazzala at right centre mid. Oh, the temptation to take off Hamilton early is there. But you know what? We're a goal to the good. It's not like we desperately need a goal, at least with how the game's balanced. I'm just going to make the one sub for now. You know the Gordon Ramsay meme where it's like the adult version of Hell's Kitchen or MasterChef or whatever his show is that Gordon Ramsay does, where he's like, oh, you know, you effing donkey. That's every other striker in our team. Norman Hamilton's the one I cuddle and say, there, gorgeous, it's okay. You know the meme. If you don't know the meme, it doesn't matter. It's 2-2. I'm busy talking about memes while we concede. It's whipped in, Chapman heads it. It's another corner. It's another corner. Okay, Hamilton, I wanted to show patience. I can't show it. Goldsmith, on you come. Sean Stewart isn't a bad little left wing back either. I feel like we can trust our ginger bearded magician to make magic happen. In fact, I'm feeling so confident in him and Ricky D. I'm switching them to wing backs on attack to end this game. Right, shouty time. Gonna fire up the players. Hasn't even taken effect yet. We've scored a set piece. Moon scored. That was too quick a highlight. I didn't even get to enjoy it. It's 3-2. It's a short free kick to Moon, who's just left unmarked to the edge of the 6-yard box. I count 7 players in the box there, in the 6-yard box for Telford. There's 7 minutes left of added time. We've got to throw in on the far side. We don't need another goal, but I suppose another goal would secure this result. The ball's in the box. Goldsmith is there. The ginger magician gets the assist. Goldsmith turns what was a pretty awful cross into gold. I do feel like you see these goals quite a lot. Short throw-in taken, then the throw-in taker just puts it towards the back post and it's headed in. It's one of those goals which when it's scored against you, you can't really do anything to stop it within the confines of Football Manager, and it's frustrating. When it goes in your favour, it's bloody brilliant. This game here finishes 4-2. That was far more intense than it needed to be. Very happy with the result and how you played. 7 points from our first 3 games. I'm kind of happy with that. I think that's good enough. Solihull Moors, Rochdale, the only 2 teams to win their first 3 games of the year. I remember last year when we were doing Park to Prem with Guernsey, we were stuck in this division for I think 3 years, and I think for the first 2 years, we had awful starts to the season. This league is one where you do want to get off to a good start. Whilst it's not been a flawless start to the season, pretty happy with what we've seen today. I was hoping as, you know, one little Christmas present to me, the board would allow me to improve the youth recruitment. I don't have the option to, sadly. Anyway, that is going to wrap things up for today's video. Will we sign a defensive midfielder in Shipston? You'll have to tune in next episode to find out, will I get my Christmas present or will I find coal in my stocking? Yeah, well, I hope we get him. Otherwise, it will be disappointing. I mean, at the moment, Telford, who we just beat, are the only team in for him. So if he's just watched the game we've just played, surely he'll pick us. I hope. Like I did say in the intro, I do want to extend a happy holidays, whether or not you celebrate Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful festive time, and well, we will be back in 2 days' time with the next episode. No episode tomorrow, it's Boxing Day, there's loads of football on. I'm going to go get fat and eat loads of leftover food. We'll be back on Wednesday for more. I hope you guys are excited for it. If you have enjoyed today's longer Christmas special, do leave a like on the video. Let me know what you got for Christmas down in the comments as well. I'm sure some of you got Football Manager. I hope the game treats you as nicely as it treated me today. I'll catch you guys next time. Take things easy. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.